Supply chain challenges in 2023. Well, joining us today to speak about that, Mike Riegler, Senior Vice President, Global LSP at One Network. Mike, it's great to see you once again. Welcome.
Thanks, Russell, for having me.
Mike, we're not that far into 2023, and I think it's probably good if we could talk to an expert like yourself and kind of identify, define some of the challenges that you see going forward in this year, challenges that people are going to be facing, pressures they're going to be dealing with, in logistics and supply chain. So walk us through some of that, if you would.
Yeah, great. Well, Happy New Year. Thank you for having me again. When I look after the global logistics service provider industry, the LSPs, the 3PLs, the 4PLs, and what we see now, right as 2023 opens up, the rates for transportation going down. Now, people can find themselves lulling to sleep and without remembering what they went through the last 2 years, where there was chaos, there was disruption, people were exhausted, anxious, and with the uncertainty and unpredictability of everything. Well, we see it for the 3PLs and the LSPs. This is a perfect time to go run to those chief supply chain officers at the enterprise to be able to present them with optionality. And optionality is, I can create more options for you so that your competitive advantage is not a thing of the past. It doesn't go out. It's more of a persistent advantage. So it's really a great time to be a logistics service provider. Now, key themes that you asked for, we see one, that the disruption, the chaos, it's going to happen. It's here to stay. Mm-hmm. And what we see the LSPs being there at the epicenter of all supply chain networks. So they have their hands in a lot of things. They can actually run and rush to their enterprise customers with options, and to be able to say, we can handle more things for you at a network level, not a point A to point B. That's one key thing. That's here to stay. And that chaos really creates more opportunity for the LSPs to be more valuable. Now, one of the things that, as an offshoot of that, is going to be the end-to-end supply chain orchestration that is on the minds of a lot of the chief supply chain guys, because it's about what the networks can do. And certainly the LSPs are positioned as physically, from a process, from a technology perspective, to do more for that. We see that sustainability, Russell, is one of the key themes that are coming out, and certainly from our friends across the pond in Europe, really driving it with conviction, with budget, to be able to answer not just the financial outcomes, but sustainability outcomes. Risk management, number 4, I see, is that, well, we've got all of these things that are happening. Yes, it's easy to see them, but how do I bring them into some simulation environments, some sandbox environments, so we can change policies and work with their customers to do more and to be able to bring that into production environments very quickly. And then finally, what we hear, and you're probably hearing this every single conversation you're having, is the talent management crisis that's going on. And talent has been exhausted, they've been annoyed, they've been anxious, they've been really just tired of a lot of the disruption. So now the enterprise customers, the enterprise shippers, just don't have the workforce. That represents an opportunity for the LSPs to go in and say, wow, we've got these business process outsourcing solutions. We can go take on a lot of that, bring that expertise to you. Now, that's going to sell very well for those customer base, but the one thing that's going to be interesting for the 3PLs, the key talent task out there is solving problems. And as you're going to be looking for technology to rise and help that process to collect and assess data and then imagine different solutions, the technology is really coming forward. So those are going to be the five big themes that we see out there for the market, and particularly for the LSPs, and to celebrate it being a great time to be an LSP.
Now here's a question. Given that times were difficult, during the pandemic, et cetera, has capital been freed up? Because, for instance, the kind of technology implementations that we've been talking about that are necessary to meet some of these challenges cost money. The opportunities, as you say, is there for LSPs to go to people and say, we can help you, we can fix your situation, et cetera. Let's get busy. You've got to hire them, got to have a contract, you've got to pay for the LSP services, et cetera. Has the money been freed up? Are we in a situation where, especially given inflationary pressure right now, that we're able to do business,
Well, that's a fantastic question. I think we look at it from people respond to it in two different ways. One, they can be motivated by the fear and the risk. So they'll put solutions around the status quo, a moat, if you will. The other side of the coin are the people that are motivated by gain and growth. And as you're looking for, bigger value to be created, that's where they see this competitive or this persistent advantage. Those are the guys that we're looking after, and I think that's where the LSPs are finding their growth. So the guys that want to put a moat around the status quo, go ahead. But I think that the time really is still there to manage that, they're able to run to the fire, if you will.
Interesting. Now, we addressed some of this. You addressed some of this in our first question, but I'm looking now for a kind of a laundry list. Greatest opportunities right now for 3PLs and 4PLs. What are they?
So I think from a risk management standpoint, to be able to go in and say, yes, what about the deviations, exception management that we would know? Yeah, so that's one aspect. How do you make sure that the right product gets to the right place? That's what we typically call exception management. But when you're looking at risk and you're seeing, well, hey, I've got something in typhoons in Shanghai, I've got port strikes, I've got all the other kind of things that are slowing down and causing disruption, how do you look at it across the network so that you can actually match demand with supply, planning and execution? And I think that's that's real value, that's bigger value and bigger opportunities.
Final question to you, Mike. It occurs to me that maybe somebody out there isn't entirely familiar with One Network.
Yep.
Tell them a little something about the company, what it does, but more importantly, how is it helping customers meet and overcome the challenges that we've just been talking about? What do you say?
Well, for sure, the hint is in the name, network. A single network of that takes supply chain planning and execution, demand and fulfillment all on the same platform. So to be able to deal with it at a network level and not just dealing with the transactions and one transaction at a time, it's about network value. And I think that's where people are looking for something more from an ecosystem perspective that's really going to stand out and be more and be a lot bigger. So that's where I think that's the big play right now for us. And we're doubling down on control tower type solutions and bringing that there so that we can enable these full-blown networks to rise to the occasion.
Great stuff. Terrific information. Mike, I know you're busy here at the conference, but you found time to talk with us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, and go Birds.
Mike Riegler, One Network, speaking with us today about the challenges, supply chain challenges in 2023 and how you can overcome them. Thanks for watching.